it's your girl Anita Rivers of Classic Royalty Designs, and again I'm back with another video. Today I will be showing you how to sew on beaded appliques. For this project you guys will need a few materials. You guys will need a beaded trim. You guys will need a nice long needle just like this one. So this needle is about 2.5 inches long, and I love working with longer needles when I'm sewing appliques because it gives me enough room to actually bend and, put the needle inside the applique. Or I just like working with longer needles when I'm sewing appliques. And of course, you guys will need matching thread. Now for this video, I won't be making anything. I already have a shirt that I've made a long time ago, so I'm gonna revamp it up and I'm gonna add some appliques on it to make it more pretty. Okay guys, this is a black neoprene solid peplum top high-low. This is the front and this is the back, and the back is a V, as you guys can see. It's very old, it's very plain. So what I'm gonna do, just for the video, I'm gonna add on appliques so I can show you guys how to sew it on. And as you guys can see, this is my peplum. If you guys want any information on how I made my peplum, leave below in the comments that you guys want to see how I made this or what patterns I use, and I'll definitely get back to you shortly within the comments. So to make this black neoprene top stand out even more, what I have here is just a beaded trim. If you guys can see, this is the way it comes. This trim was $10 for this trim, and you can place it anywhere you want. The first step is placement. So I can place it around the waist, just like that. I can actually place it on the shoulder, which will be really nice. For this video, I'm gonna add the trim right here along the waist. So once you guys have your trim, you guys are gonna take your trim and place it on your item. Make sure your trim is very even and put pins on the side so the trim won't move. Okay guys, now that we have our trim on our garment, I'm going to show you guys two different ways on how you can sew this applique. You guys can go within the trim just like this, or if you guys can go over and under just like that. Now we'll show you both, and then you guys can decide which one you like better. I have my favorite. It really doesn't matter which one you guys choose. Whichever one works for you, go with that, but these two are the easiest methods that I like to use. No, I do not approve with any designer gluing on appliques. Gluing on appliques is a no-no because appliques are very heavy, and you do not want your client going to a wedding or prom or any event at that matter and she's dancing and an applique falls off. This is why you guys need to sew on your appliques. The next thing we're going to do, guys, we're going to take our needle and our thread and place it on our needle. Then make sure that your thread is doubled, just like that. See, 2 threads. Then you guys are gonna bring your needle together and make sure you guys have a good enough thread thickness. And at the end of your thread, you guys will tie a knot. And if you guys ask me how can I sew with my nails, don't worry about it. I can sew with my nails. It does not bother me, and this is how your thread should be. First thing you guys should want to do is start sewing at the corner of your trim. Never start in the middle, never start at the bottom of the middle. Always start towards the end of your trim. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to actually put it in the black fabric and put it through the applique. So it's in the applique. I'm going to pull it through, and once that knot hits the applique, that's perfect. You guys are going to take your needle, put it in the fabric again, and then you guys will take your needle, put it in the hole just like this, and you guys are going to pull and make a knot. And that will be your first step to sewing you guys the applique. Now, one thing you guys should know is that you guys need matching thread, or if not, you guys can buy silver thread to match your applique. So How I like to sew my appliques, I like to take a long needle, just like this one, and then I'm going to start going under and over, under and over. So of course, I'm going to take my needle, I'm going to go under the actual black fabric, and this fabric is actually really hard, and I'm going to pull it through the applique, just like that. And you guys can't even see where the thread is. So again, I'm going to take my needle, I'm going to put it in my black fabric, put it through the trim, just like this, see? And I'm going to pull my needle through, and that is all. You guys can't really see, but for this video, since my trim is silver, I can definitely see the black thread on the silver right here. Okay guys, I don't know if you guys can see this black mark right here, but it lets me know that I shouldn't use black thread for this project. But that is okay, this is a lesson learned. I'm only showing you guys how to sew appliques. So again, I'm going to take my needle, I'm going to place it inside the black fabric. Make sure it also goes through the trim. I'm going to pull, and that is it. And you will continue to do this all the way around. If you want, I can take my hand, place it underneath the fabric, and continue to sew this way while my finger is holding the trim. And I can continue to go in again. So my needle goes through the black fabric, through the trim. Make sure you guys aren't poking your needle at the beads, and then you're going to take your needle and you guys are going to pull. What does happen is this: sometimes your thread does get tangled up and it's not you. Sometimes the thread is just thick and it just catches together and it causes knots. Now I'm going to show you a second way on how to sew this beautiful trim. Second way that you guys can sew your trim is not actually going under and over, but you guys will go under and over within the trim. So you guys will take your needle, you guys will start in the trim, go in your fabric, and bring it back up actually in the trim. So I know that sounds complicated, but it really isn't. So I'm going to do it for you guys again. You guys are going to take your needle, put it inside your applique and the fabric, and you guys are gonna push your needle up in the trim so that your needle is actually coming out of the trim, just like this. If you guys can see it, I know the needle is silver and the trim is silver, so it's hard for you guys to see. And you guys are gonna push your needle up and pull it out of your trim. Now again, it depends which one you're more comfortable with. If you want to make sure that your edges don't come up, then you can actually sew going under the fabric and in the trim. But it depends on how small your applique is. Sometimes you can go in the trim and go out the trim. So it really depends on your style, and it really depends on how much of a beginner you are, or how much a professional you are, or it comes down to technique and which one you like best. But that is really how you sew an applique. Also for this project guys, some of you may be in a rush and may not want to sew the entire applique. So another thing you guys can do is just tack. So when it comes to tacking, tacking means not sewing the entire applique. So when it comes to tacking, that means you guys can sew right here on the corner, you guys can sew right here, every few spaces, and that means tacking. Just tack, 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 tack. And that can also help you too. If your client is unsure on whether she actually wants to keep this applique on for any future events, that's fine. So when you guys talk to your clients, make sure you ask them, do you want to keep the applique on for right now, or do you guys actually want to take it off later on? So if you want to take it off later on, my opinion is just to tack, so that later on in the future your client can actually move the applique from the waist to along the shoulder, or maybe on the sleeve, or wherever your client wants it. So that's also another great opinion for you guys to know. So again guys, that was a short video. I showed you guys 2 ways on how to sew a beaded lace or a beaded applique. It is very simple. It's very simple. Like I said, and remember, there are two ways you guys can sew beaded trim. You guys can go under and over, so you guys go within the fabric and out the trim, within the fabric and without the trim. And again, the second option is going in the trim, coming out the trim, going in the trim and going out the trim. No matter what, remember this motion because you guys are going in and out and in and out. Put some bling on it, put some stain on it, and put some bling on it. So again, thank you guys for watching my video. This is Anita Rivers on how to sew a beaded lace trim. Bye guys.